bill.
The illegal flow of small arms and light weapons has devastating the consequences, fueling violence, instability, and insecurity in various parts of the world.
Nigeria Air Force intensifies onslaught against criminals in northwest Nigeria.
It is clear that farming is not just an occupation. It is a way of life which can create employment opportunities.
First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, inducts young farmers to grow agricultural sector. Good evening and welcome. It's News Desk at 6 on Nta News24, and we're broadcasting live from our studios in Abuja. I am Claire Adelabu Abdurazak. And a week after the signing of the Cape Town Convention Practice Directions, Vice President Kashim Shettima has again assured stakeholders in the country's aviation industry of the federal government's commitment to creating a more conducive and better operating environment for airlines. He gave the assurance during a meeting with airline operators of Nigeria at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jubrila tells us more.
Members of the Airline Operators of Nigeria coming back to the presidential villa after the signing of the Cape Town Convention Practice Directions, describing it as a major boost for ease of doing business in Nigeria's aviation industry. This meeting is part of the government's bid to address foreign exchange issues and the backlog of payments with the Central Bank of Nigeria, the National Hajj Commission, and the Airline Operators of Nigeria. Noting the fragile nature of airline operations, Allen Onyema, representative of the operators, said airlines are exceptional and any little infraction can take an airline out of the market, stressing the need for continued support in line with global practices to ensure the sector's sustainability and growth.
You know, everybody wants to do business with Nigeria. The foreign lessors have been contacting some of us. I say, oh, congratulations. I've been getting congratulatory messages from all over the world, even from representatives of Boeing and other manufacturers. They are very happy with what the president did. The vice president has taken it upon himself to make sure that Nigerian airlines are giving their dues abroad.
We're going now to continue the discussions. It was a productive one. All the agencies that were involved in some of the issues that were raised by airline operators last week were present, and some was also delegated to the Honorable Minister of Finance. The Honorable Minister of Aviation is also keeping close tabs on this, but because His Excellency has put such an importance on this, on supporting Nigerian businesses in aviation and other sectors, there was another company in another sector in attendance. We're going to have the follow-up meeting immediately and get back to him. He's giving us by Monday to have some concrete outcomes.
After the meeting, stakeholders in the aviation industry agreed on continuous engagement with a view to addressing challenges and making the environment conducive for improved investment and better service delivery. From the State House, Abraham Jubrila, NTA News.
And President Bola Tinubu has assented to the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons bill, in line with the UN Charter on Arms Proliferation. Our defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the center is further domesticating the UN Charter and mainstreaming fight against illicit arms trade.
In the past, weapons like guns, bow and arrows were basically used by hunters, gaming, and to protect communities from wild animal invasion. With civilization, more sophisticated weapons are manufactured and are mostly used by state actors like the military and paramilitary. Consequently, there are more than 12 billion rounds of ammunition manufactured annually, 857 million small and light weapons in circulation globally. 70% of these are said to be in Africa, with Nigeria having the largest number. These have amplified different criminal activities in parts of the country, with women mostly vulnerable during these armed conflicts.
The illegal flow of small arms and light weapons has devastating the consequences, fueling violence, instability, and insecurity in various parts of the world. As we all know, the most traumatic effects of this crisis usually befall women and children. This workshop on gender mainstreaming is especially important as it corresponds with the United Nations Security Council resolution, which emphasizes the role of women in conflict prevention and peace building.
The Office of the National Security Advisor is focused on tracing and tracking the root of this illicit trade.
Just recently, the President assented to the bill establishing the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, a major milestone in our commitment to curbing the proliferation of illegal arms. This legislative backing strengthens the center's mandate and paves the way for more coordinated and decisive action.
With the presidential assent, the center is committed to further domesticating UN charters on arms. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
And again, Ismail Musa reports that growing dependence on artificial intelligence and digital platform is increasing cyber and security threats in Nigeria. He says that federal government, through the National Cyber Security Coordination Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, is also rising to the occasion to address these threats.
Africa's Cyber Security Report 2021 indicates that cyber attacks in Africa increased by 300% in 2022 in the face of digital growth, while 71% of organizations in Nigeria recorded cyber attacks, resulting in huge loss of revenue. These attacks, that are likely to triple in 5 years, are a major challenge to global domain targeting socioeconomic activities.
AI does a lot of criminal activities as well, not just as a service. But
this platform is preparatory to the 2024 Cybersecurity Conference aimed at addressing threats relating to artificial intelligence and cybersecurity.
What we intend to do is to bring to ground from all stakeholders to understand that cybersecurity is important, that you must build defenses and that you must collaborate in building those defenses. And you must learn from the weaknesses of others and to generally protect ourselves as we get to more interconnectivity.
We are also looking at within the law enforcement framework. How does that happen? What are the investigative ability? Our law enforcement are being trained now to look at the AI in total. How will you use AI to commit a crime? I think we will be looking at what are the futures of this AI. What can we do with AI? How do we also protect ourselves against AI?
The conference will also provide possible solutions to threats posed by AI. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
The Nigerian Air Force has intensified airstrikes against criminal elements in the northwest and is working to deploy a quick response wing to increase military presence in vulnerable communities. Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, confirmed this while on operational tour of the air component of Operation Hading Daji and 213 Forward Operating Base in Katsina. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The visit by the Chief of the Air Staff is to bolster security efforts and strengthening collaboration with Katsina State in addressing the challenges of banditry and other insecurity in the Northwest region. Deputy Director, Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, indicates that during the visit, Air Marshal Abubakar paid a courtesy visit to the Governor of Katsina State, Diko Umar Rada, expressing gratitude for his unwavering commitment to supporting the NAF and fostering a secure environment in Katsina State. Air Marshal Abubakar highlighted the significant progress made in securing the state, noting that the recent planting season was largely free from interference by bandits, a feat attributed to the governor's robust security measures. He assured Governor Rada of the NAF's continued support in protecting farmers during the upcoming harvest season, emphasizing the importance of safe and productive agricultural activities to the Katsina State economy. Governor Diko Umar Rada expressed deep appreciation for the unwavering support of the NAF in ensuring peace and security in the state. The governor also expressed optimism that the planned farmers' protection operations and increased military presence in vulnerable areas will foster a more secure environment for the upcoming harvest season. Earlier, The air chief had proceeded to the air component Operation Hadarindaji, where he received intelligence and operational briefs concerning the ongoing efforts in the fight against banditry and highlighted the progress made in the recent months. Subsequently, the chief of the air staff visited the 213 Forward Operation Base, Katsina, where he was briefed on the operational readiness of the Quick Response Wing, including the ongoing operational plans aimed at improving security in vulnerable communities across Katsina State. Olajide Bello, Nta News.
Now, farming is not just an occupation, but a way of life which can create employment opportunities for Nigeria's seeming youth population, help diversity and, of course, the economy, and guarantee food security, especially with more hands and the right tools. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, stated this during the official launch of Young Farmers Club, Nigeria, by the Renewed Hope Initiative in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. We join State House correspondent Nta News24 for this report.
In the recent past, the picture of students with writing materials in one hand and the other hand firmly gripping a farming tool, ready to till the ground, was commonplace.
To respect our land and resources.
The launch of Young Farmers Club by Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is not only expected to bring back those old days when agriculture and education share the same space, but also answer the question of who will feed the future in a world with rising population.
The aim of the Young Farmers Club Nigeria is to catch them young by making farming more appealing to our pupils and students. We are not just teaching them how to farm, we are also nurturing a generation that will transform our agricultural landscape, imbibe modern farming techniques, and ensure that Nigeria remains self-sufficient in food production, in line with the food security drive of the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. The Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, is launching the Young Farmers Club Nigeria with some pilot schools in the Federal Capital Territory to kickstart the club nationwide. Each member is proudly kitted in their club uniform and has been provided with a watering can and hoe as starter tools, with all expenses paid for by the Renewed Hope Initiative.
Handing out club's handbook, membership cards and farm implements to 240 members of the club, the First Lady says the institutional framework for the Young Farmers Club has already been worked out by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
This they have done by making financial provision in their budget to scale up the club rollout nationwide. Interested schools nationwide should register with the First Ladies of their respective states. This registration will then be channeled to the Young Farmers Club desk office at the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security offices in their various states for necessary provisions and support.
Formally inducting the members, Minister of Agriculture Abubakar Kyari says the initiative marks a milestone in ongoing efforts to promote innovation and innovators in the sector.
As you embrace the opportunities that lie ahead, may you lead with integrity and contribute positively to your communities and nation at large.
The recent federal government policy, which focuses on vocational education and the development or attainment of the SDGs, definitely aligns with what we are doing here today.
And the new inductees are poised to embrace their new role in nation building.
I'm expected to farm and to inspire others to promote agriculture in my school. We are going to have to plant everything because it's going to be useful in the future.
By enlisting their participation, the Renewed Hope Initiative is achieving its set mandate in agriculture, one of its key priority areas. From the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Nta News, Nta News.
Fantastic. You're watching News Desk at 6. Let's take a short break. The news returns presently.
What is fake news? A false information with no verifiable source presented as true story on media platforms with the sole intention of causing injuries, chaos, and disaffection between persons, groups, or countries. Fake news facilitates extremism. Fake news creates panic and distrust. Fake news breeds hatred. Fake news kills. Don't joke with it. Don't be in a rush. Verify your sources and facts. It is better late than fake. This message is brought to you by Nta News24.
The world marks World Patient Safety Day today. It's an international observance spearheaded by the World Health Organization (WHO) to raise awareness and promote strategies aimed at ensuring patient safety globally. Now, the theme for this year is Engaging Patients for Patient Safety. It emphasizes the importance of involving patients, families, and communities in efforts to safeguard healthcare systems. Hakimat Aliu tells us more about the challenges of patient safety in Nigeria.
One critical concern over time in Nigeria's healthcare system is the high rate of medical errors and avoidable complications, which have become a growing public health issue. Studies have shown that about 50% of adverse events in Nigerian hospitals could have been prevented with better safety protocols in place. Hence the significance of World Patient Safety Day in Nigeria. Head of Clinical Services at the Federal Medical Center, Jabi, Dr. Bioku Muftau, speaks further on the day.
Hospitals under the umbrella of the Federal Ministry of Health have been notified. Though this hospital has its own committee on patient safety, we mark the day every year. So, and this year's theme, dwell more on the diagnosis as regards to patient safety. If you delay diagnosis, you are likely going to delay treatment. So, incorrect communication with the patient of the diagnosis of your diagnosis too is not also very good. So it affects patient safety. So then the one that's even very difficult or dangerous is when you miss the diagnosis entirely, or if you have an incorrect diagnosis. So, and this is very possible if you don't have the expert taking care of the patient.
He adds that there are challenges in hospitals where patient numbers far outweighs the available resources, and despite efforts to improve, the nation faces widespread of other issues that contribute to compromised patient safety. No doubt, however, that urban centers like Abuja fare better, as narrated by residents and patients at the Federal Medical Center, Jabi, and Wuse District Hospital in Abuja.
My experience in FMC, I scored them 90 over 100 for FMC as a case study, because this is where my wife gave birth to in January last year. In fact, the service we got there was fantastic.
We've been using this hospital for some time now, and I give it to them. The arrangement of the ward, the facility, like not this kind of, the ward will just be a big hall.
The nurses are on point, so they take care of us. The bathrooms everywhere is clean, and the ward as well.
Okay, actually from the experience I've had here, at least they give proper attention to patients, and also, but there's still room for improvement.
As this year's theme underscores, patients themselves are pivotal partners in ensuring their own safety, and are expected to play a crucial role in identifying and preventing medical errors. For now, many remain hopeful that with greater awareness of the issues and stronger patient advocacy, the safety and quality of healthcare would get better. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, Nta News.
And as the drive for standardization gains momentum, the message is clear. Consumers have the right to expect safe, quality goods and services. And it is through robust standards that these rights are safeguarded. That was the message put forth by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, to commemorate the 11th African Day of Standardization in Abuja. Musa Bubaka reports.
From the food we eat to the clothes we wear and the devices we rely on, standards shape every aspect of our daily lives. The African Day for Standardization is dedicated to recognizing the critical role of standards in safeguarding consumer rights.
Through the instrumentality of SON, we continue to provide the much-needed standardization platform to both manufacturers and consumers alike, so that the purpose of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement can catalyze the free flow of goods and services across the continents for global market positioning.
Through promoting and enforcing standards, the belief among stakeholders here is that beyond protecting consumer health and safety is the promotion of trust in the marketplace.
The Nigerian government has also implemented policies and programs to establish an enabling environment for consumers to thrive in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
With a theme, empowering consumers through standardization to achieve their rise to safe quality goods and services, African nations continue to push for stronger regulatory frameworks, raising awareness of pivotal role that standardization plays in fostering economic growth. In Abuja, I am Musa Bubaka, Nta News.
And the federal government says it is tapping into the global halal economy as part of plans to diversify the economy. Now, Special Assistant to the President on Export Expansion, Aliyu Bunu Sharif, says this is not driven by an Islamization agenda, but a critical need to boost Nigeria's exports and achieve sustainable growth. This was while discussing how to build a vibrant halal economy on Good Morning Nigeria today. Ekemini Williams monitored the program and now reports.
The halal economy is associated with the global markets of products and services that conform to Islamic law and ensures these products meet specific ethical and religious criteria. The Special Assistant to the President on Export Expansion, Aliyu Bunu Sharif, noted that the halal economy extends beyond religious compliance and is hinged on principles of ethics and integrity, which resonates across cultures. He says tapping into the global halal economy represents a tremendous opportunity for Nigeria to diversify our economy, generate foreign exchange, and achieve sustainable growth.
Goal is to explore how we can capture a greater share of this burgeoning market, which the focus is the Islamic Organization of Cooperation countries. You know how wealthy they are to invest in certain things, and now is the time to attract foreign direct investment to really expand the economy. So the idea is to develop a comprehensive halal ecosystem in Nigeria, one that is supported by rigorous accreditation and standardization processes, which is the key thing. So it's not about Islamizing the country or saying, okay, there are rules for this or that. No. There's a sector that is interested in these things, or even the Muslim or Christian populations abroad, like I mentioned, Brazil, New Zealand, UK, and the rest. You see products with labeling of halal on it. So it's not about, no, this is for Muslims, that this has met certain standards, certain quality.
He noted the success of Sukuk bonds and the growing appeal of Islamic banking as a demonstration of the fact that halal principles are compatible with global economic standards and can benefit all Nigerians. The Special Assistant added that the strategic focus on the halal economy opens up new avenues for Nigerian businesses to compete on the global stage.
And that is our goal. Nigeria, being one of the largest Muslim populations in the world, has already emerged as the largest domestic halal economy, and it's expected to grow from $107 billion currently to $180 billion by 2027.
Well, it's not just about the Nigerian market, it's about the global market. The Muslim population in the world is already hitting 2 billion, and it's projected to get to 3 billion by maybe 2025, 2030. Now, if you look at that, that's almost half of the population of the world. And if you are going towards that, these are people that need these products. So it's not just about the Muslim population, it's about a market that is there worth over $5 trillion annually. How do you get a piece of it?
The presidential aide advised Nigerian businesses to buy into the initiative. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, Nta News.
Meanwhile, economic experts have attributed the fuel price issue in Nigeria to inefficiency in the oil and gas sector. They said factors, including bureaucratic red tape, insecurity and politics, are to blame. Reacting to the price list as released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for the sale of Dangote petrol across its retail outlets nationwide, which showed that petrol pump prices will rise to around 950 naira and 1,019 naira 22 kobo per litre. The experts advised Nigerians to start seeking accountability by demanding information from NNPCL and Dangote refinery, as this will determine their course of action and put those companies in check.
Oranges sell for 20 naira. That's the cost of transportation, something for the farmer, fertilizer and all that. If it's 20 naira, that is the cost. And you are expecting to buy it for 10 naira. It's difficult to answer how that will happen. What I've just said is that it is important that we as Nigerians actually know what the real issues are. And part of the real issues is getting the details both from NNPCL and from Dangote refinery. It's time people start asking questions, critical questions, rather than supporting someone and looking for information to back it. They should look at the information that is available. Okay, Oga, you are collecting crude in naira at so price. Why is it at so price? Those are questions Nigerians should ask. Oga, you are importing. Why are you importing? Oga, the refineries are not working. Why? You know, people have said the refineries are not working, these are being shifted, and they are carrying hammer. Nobody is asking why. The point with that, why all of that is missing, is that it allows people with some knowledge and expertise to analyze things and say, oh boy, you guys are actually making 10% or 40% profit. Or you guys are making, you know, because if the cost comes down, you know the cost at which is getting the crude. So you can basically analyze, and with that you can know the average cost of refining. So you can average and analyze all of that. So not making that available is basically more or less shielding their business or protecting certain things, which I say is all part of politics.
News Desk at 6 concludes the news hour on NTA News 24 channel. But you can catch up with more news on other NTA platforms at 7 and of course on the network service at 9. But for now, from me and the rest of the news crew, we thank you for watching and good night.